I'm a huge Patriots fan, in case you couldn't tell from the Patriots glass in the corner. And one of the things that I love is the amount of practice and drilling and breaking down of the past game that they do by watching game tape and those kinds of things. And again, going back and they break it down to the fundamentals of what's going to make a great play actually happen and how do you work in those contingencies. So what I'm hearing is that it sounds like a lot of salespeople that I encounter, they spend a lot of time in preparation, what they call planning. You know, and they need to do a lot of their research and these things. But what I find happens is that they reach a point where they are using that as a reason not to take action. And we don't really always have that choice, because what I'm hearing you say is you're gonna go through, you're gonna execute on this particular operation or conversation or opportunity, and then you're gonna go back and look for the ways to refine that. Like, it's never a place where you've got it nailed down and it's perfect, but it's continuous.
Well, and that's why one of the biggest things, and we can discuss the model that I developed for the Navy, but one of the most critical aspects of that model is what we call the reflective piece. And, we have a process in the military we call AAR, after action review. And it's that comprehensive process where we are taking the lessons learned, but we're doing it in such a way that let's say, for example, we executed poorly. We're going to free the negative emotional baggage from the value of that experience. And we're going to pull that experience, we're going to pull the value from that experience with the express purpose of feeding it back in to our next preparation phase. And so that's what, every time we look at something, we look to say, all right, how can I use this for next time? And not get complacent because we did well and just say, heck with it. And not to equally be mired down with regret because, something went poorly for us. It's just get the value and flush away all the rest.
And this is something that at a leadership level is absolutely critical. But do you also find at the individual contributor level that this is also important? Is there any difference?
Not really. As an organization, you need to be able to have a deliberate process for the critical assessment and analysis of the things that happen to us, and be able to kind of extract the value, put it in a document, disseminate it to the rest of the sales force. But then at the individual level, you need to have that as well. After every key milestone, key event, whether it's a daily call, whether it's a weekly reflection, or whether it's just routinely, just stepping out of that noisy traffic to say, hey, is what I'm doing effective? What can I be doing better? Okay, and are my actions, behaviors aligned with my intentionality, with my original purpose in doing what I'm doing? And we have to do that because sometimes if we don't, then we are not able to deal with when conditions changes, when the market changes, when priorities in our own lives change. And so we just, again, it's always using the value of your experience to inform your future steps, organizationally or individually. It's pretty much the same in my book.
Speaking of books, have you ever read the book Who Moved My Cheese?
I haven't. I probably should have, because I've heard about it so many times.
It's funny. Well, so it's written like a childhood's kind of tale, and it's a story of two mice. And don't ask me to remember the names of the mice. I should. But one mouse, they're both fed cheese every single day, and they get used to that pattern. And one day the cheese stops coming. And one mouse says, well, I'm going to sit here and wait, and they're going to come back and give me my cheese because I deserve to have this cheese. Versus the other mouse who has his sneakers around his neck and says, we need to find new ways to get more cheese. And he never takes his sneakers off his neck. He never gets comfortable or settled in what the status quo is. He's always looking for what is going to happen next. And as you're describing it, the book came to mind. So I'm going to add that as a list of recommended books to read for all of our listeners.